A few days ago, we heard about how ACOG, which is the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, will no longer be taking any federal funding due directly to Trump policies. They are cutting all ties with the federal government. Their main reasoning is that policies from the Trump regime prevent ACOG from providing evidence-based guidance. We've seen the way that the Trump regime is attempting to destroy science in this country. I should probably make a video talking more about the brain drain that is happening now and is going to only be exacerbated the longer this regime stays in power. But they are destroying scientific and medical research. They are taking us back decades. And part of that is limiting all kinds of words that can be used when you are doing grant writing and when you are publishing scientific papers, and also making evidence-based medical guidance to your other physicians, to other scientists, and to your patients. So not only is the Trump regime going back and trying to scrub and alter scientific research from the past, they're also trying to deny grant funding and future research and cut programs that are worthwhile, crucially important, based on certain words, but they're using bad AI software to scan the documents and decide where to make cuts. And I talked about this a number of weeks ago, but this executive order targets anything they consider DEI, environmental justice, LGBTQ, foreign AIDS, reproductive rights, etc., etc. So they scan for all kinds of words that are now considered too woke. They're verboten in scientific literature in the US. And one of those obviously is trans. That means research proposals or current research that uses words like transdermal, transgenic, transfer. Those have all been flagged by this AI, and these researchers are at risk of losing their funding. It is completely nonsensical. Again, kakistocracy, the goal is not to have a functional government. The goal of having idiots in charge of things is to, on purpose, wreck this country and make it as non-functional as possible. The incompetence is part of the maliciousness. Please understand that. So in the face of all of this chaos, the obstetricians and gynecologists in ACOG, of which there are more than 60,000 in the United States, have said, we cannot live out our ethics, we cannot uphold our oath and serve our patients and still take funding from this corrupt government. Also, notably, unlike Columbia University, Paul Weiss, Target, Walmart, Lowe's, I could just go on and on. Unlike all of those folks who bent the knee and immediately revoked their DEI policies, ACOG has said, no, two of our core values are equity and diversity, and we will not be compromising those to take money from the Trump regime. So first off, I commend ACOG and all of its 60,000 members for standing up for their patients, for medical integrity, and the rule of law. That in and of itself is that's enough to be a newsworthy story. We need to see more institutions being willing to stand up against the regime and say enough is enough. You cannot buy our compliance. You cannot buy our obedience. We will not bend the knee to fascism. But now today there is an update to the story. We are hearing that the Gates Foundation has decided to invest $2.5 billion in women's health. The focus of the bulk of that funding is for maternal care and sexual health for women. Please understand that maternal mortality is up across the board in the United States. And since 2022, it has doubled for Black women. If you think that's not connected to the reversal of Roe versus Wade, the objectification of women, the way that we are seen as incubators, as vessels to produce children and not as full human beings, you would be wrong. We also cannot discount the ways that medical racism plays in significantly when it comes to Black women who are pregnant and giving birth. The fact that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for all of my criticisms of Bill Gates, has decided to step in and try and fill some of the funding, try and fill the void a little bit, I think is really important. It's also good to remember that for any of us who are willing to stand up against the Trump regime, that does not mean that we are isolated and alone. It doesn't mean that if we are not willing to sell our souls for money from a fascist regime, that we are absolutely screwed. We have got to remember that there are millions and millions of people, a lot of them with a lot of resources and a lot of influence, who are willing to support folks who have the courage to stand up. And ACOG stepped out and did the right thing, just like Harvard stepped out and did the right thing. And we saw hundreds of colleges and universities come alongside them and say, hey, we're going to share resources with you. We're going to stand alongside you and defend you as you stand up against what Donald Trump is trying to do, as he's trying to shake you down. We are going to be allies with you. We are going to hold your hand and hold the line together. That's what we're also seeing with ACOG. We are seeing the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation just like immediately be like, we're going to step in and provide some funding, billions of dollars worth of funding. I think the important lesson here for all of us is that when you are standing up against fascism, you are not doing it by yourself, that there is a community of people behind and around you who are willing to support you. You are not friendless. You are not alone. Millions and millions and millions of Americans support you. And you don't have to be courageous all by yourself. We get to be courageous together. We can come together and help each other weather this storm. We do not have to comply with fascism. We do not have to compromise our ethics and our integrity in order to take money from the Trump regime, in order to foolishly believe that any level of appeasement will buy us security. You can never appease your way to security under fascism. The only thing you will do by playing appeaser is you will throw the most vulnerable in this country and around the world under the bus. You will sacrifice the most vulnerable when you play appeasement. And in the end, you will become the most vulnerable, right? When everybody below you has been taken out by the Trump regime, guess who they're going to come for next? There is no amount of appeasement that will secure you safety in a Trump regime, in any fascist regime. And ACOG saw that right off the bat. They're like, we're not playing this game. This is a no-win for us. It's a no-win for democracy. It's a no-win for our patients, and we will not compromise ourselves in this way. And there's a greater lesson there for all of us.